And Jadaika Akunili Crosby's works on view in the Huntington Art Gallery form the third and final installment in the series curated by Hilton Alls. And previous exhibitions featured Lynette Yadamboache and Celia Paul. But for this exhibition, Alls and Akunili Crosby selected collage-based paintings from The Beautiful Ones, the artist's ongoing series of intimate portraits of Nigerian children, including members of her own family.
I would say I love that these works were here. I did not know until the opening day when I came, and I was just blown away. Just every single curatorial choice that was made with the hanging of this show, I love. The color of the wall, the placement, the things it's in conversation with across from it, in the room behind it. And I think for me it was so important because, like, you know, it's like we talked about this already, but when I'm working, I am drawing from this tradition, but like, you know, I think of it as a cracking. I'm trying to crack this tradition open and let something else come out of it, which kind of speaks to this broader theme in my work. I grew up in Nigeria, which used to be a British colony. There was a lot of American influence in Nigeria. When I was growing up, you know, we consume a lot of American pop culture, and I'm thinking of Nigeria as this place that has taken these vestiges of British influence or this imported American culture. There are over 200 different ethnic groups in Nigeria, and all those things have kind of mixed together, but something new and unique and interesting has grown out of all this. And so I'm thinking of taking this tradition of painting and making my own new thing grow out of it. So it's really exciting to see the work in conversation with the tradition I'm working from. So you see the similarities, but at the same time, the difference is very clear.
Complications about place are always interesting, and I think important to the current conversation. So if I was speaking about this earlier, that one of the great things about museums and libraries is that it has to pay attention to the demographics of the neighborhood that it's in and the world that it's inhabits. And the demographics of here in Pasadena have changed. And there's also a real sort of interest in understanding people much more readily, I think, than when I was growing up. The world was much more divided then, and I know that's a weird thing to say given our particular red and blue nonsense in America, but it feels that the conversations are much more possible now. So I think we can call these shows a kind of possibility about what exhibitions can be like and what artists have contributed to that possibility.
So it was a painting by Velázquez of Prince Balthasar Carlos, and it's from like 1639. But the thing I liked about it, what actually drew me to it, because if you see the painting, you're going to be like, I don't really see what the relationship is to this. But what I took from it, which is actually happening there, it's like the compositional breakdown of the piece. So I was looking at it and I thought, why do I like this work? Because I don't like it because I don't know who Prince Balthasar Carlos is. So it's like, what am I attracted to? And it was actually the way the painting was put together. The way the outfit passages into the background and the places where things stand out. So, like, I liked this, like where things jump out and where things move back into the background. And so once I figured out what I liked, I could extrapolate from that and use it in mine. And what I really loved was that it was this very dark painting, and then the kid's skin, so his face and arms and legs felt they just came forward because they were of lighter value. and everything else fell down. And you can fell back, and you can see it happening here to the glowing face and arms, and everything else kind of falls back. There was something very immediate and striking and exciting about that. So I wanted to do my own version, and of course it would be my sister, and she's a dark skin, so it would be the opposite, where it's this big tombow outfit that has moments where it passages into the background, and then have her head and arms and legs kind of have these nice, like, abstracts, like, presence in the composition.
I had done work with Celia Paul and Lynette. They were the two women before Andrew Decca. And the thing that really sort of I was looking for were members or folks who were living or raised partly in Britain, but had some relationship to empire at a distance. So Celia had been born in India. Lynette's parents are African, and Andrew Decca, of course, is African herself. And so it was very moving to me that a lot of her stories in the work were about home, this idea of displacement, and also this idea of returning, and home as a place of enormous complications and comfort simultaneously.
And a phrase that is very important to me in my work is the Nigerian writer Chinua Achebe, who talked about writing in English. You know, there was a big debate about why, or a big question for why he was writing in English instead of his local language, Igbo. And he was making the point that he's writing in English, but he's writing in a new variant of English that is unique to himself, his people, where he grew up. And he said, the English language, when altered, can be made to bear the burden of my Nigerian existence. And that's kind of what I was thinking of. How can I take this training and use it to talk about my experience as a Nigerian, American?
Between the universe that, I think that the universe that Andrew Decca is offering is not very different than what Gainsborough was trying to do, which is to talk about the ways in which we evolve and become. The Blue Boy is, the most famous painting in this wing of the museum, and it really is about a young man becoming. It's about class, and it's also about the world that produced him. I don't see the difference in terms of importance politically and culturally. I think that what audiences like to see is how history marries to the contemporary. The great thing about museums is that and people use hackneyed words like timeless, but there is a timelessness and an opportunity to reflect. That's what's beautiful about this exhibition, is that we'll be looking at it 200 years or 150 years from now and come at it with a whole new wave of freshness and fresh eyes, and that word again, possibility.